What's up, everybody? John from Stuff That's Good. Today we're diving into all the new stuff that you can find in iOS 17 when it comes to the music app and the music experience. Now, every time a beta is released, I download it right away and I want to know what's new in the music world, and there's always something new to uncover. So let's talk about a couple of those things today and let's dive right into it. So, album art. You're going to notice right away when you start playing a song that animated full screen album art is a thing now in Apple Music. Now, Spotify has kind of been playing with this for a while, and it's good to see Apple kind of finally get on that bandwagon. It's a whole new way for artists to interact and just connect with their audience while you're listening to the song. You're also connecting with the movement of the album art. Now, a lot of times, whether it's a music video or seeing a band live, the visuals for me help me connect with the lyrics or the mood or the atmosphere or the heart behind the music. And so I absolutely love this addition. Now, while you're in that full screen view, you can also click on the three dots, and at the top of that little menu that pops up is another new feature, and that is to view the credits of a song. You can see all the credits that pertain to a song, from songwriting to recording. And so on this one in particular, this is Sufjan Stevens' So You Are Tired, one of my new favorite songs. This album I'm looking forward to, probably gonna be a top album for me in 2023. It's a little bit of a return to form for him as a songwriter, or singer-songwriter. And as you scroll down, you can see who performed on it. Now in Sufjan's case, he usually writes, performs, records, produces everything by himself, and maybe brings in a couple of people to do a couple of things. And that's what we see on this song. Sufjan's is a performer. Adrian, Megan, and Hannah are all also performers. They sang backing vocals. And then somebody in production and engineering, Heba Kadri. I'm probably messing that up big time. If you're watching, I love you. I just can't say her name. So at the end of last year, Apple introduced this new feature into the Apple Music world, and that is Apple Music Sing. So you can click a little microphone. It's kind of like a karaoke version of the song. I don't exactly know how they do this. I think a lot of times artists have to submit an instrumental version and a version with lyrics to like their record labels and to licensing companies. And I think they do that as well sometimes to Apple Music or to Spotify or whatever, CD Baby, DistroKid, TuneCore. I'm gonna be doing a comparison of those distribution platforms as well in the future and just comparing and contrasting. If you're a musician and you're interested in that, stay tuned, subscribe, ring the bell, we'll talk about it. But I think this kind of shifts between the instrumental version and the version with lyrics, or it uses some kind of clever... That feature is also now going to be available on Apple TV, and you can use your camera as a camera that overlays into the actual Sing experience. So you can have like a full-on karaoke session in iOS 17 with an Apple TV using Apple Sing. Pretty sweet. All right, now another highly requested feature is shared playlist. And even though that's not available right now in the beta that I have, and I don't think it's gonna be available at launch, it is a feature that they have said is coming later in the fall. Hopefully by Christmas time, we'll be able to share playlists. So have actually collaboratively shared playlists, not just sending someone your playlist, but allowing them to edit your playlist with you, which is super cool. Another feature that Spotify has had. Now let me be honest. I've been an Apple Music listener for a long time. I use Spotify for a little bit. The thing that Spotify is great for is kind of the social aspect. There's a lot of things that they share as well when it comes to like view counts and end of the year stats, and you can see what your other friends are listening to and all that kind of stuff. And they also have playlists that you can share with friends and you can collaborate and create together. Apple is slowly moving into a lot of these features one by one, and so it's great to see that because I've loved Spotify for those things, but I prefer the Apple kind of ecosystem and kind of native integration of Apple Music. One thing that puzzles me though is I still don't understand how Google Maps has control for the Apple Music app within Google Maps, but Apple Maps doesn't have control for the Apple Music app within Apple Maps. Why? Hopefully one day, we'll see. But you can finally share your playlist with your friends. You can collaborate together. You can curate a playlist together. That's awesome. And playing a playlist back, whether it's background music or you're at a party or whatever, the only reason I can think to use this next feature is when I'm listening to playlists, and that is Crossfade. So I'm like a full-length album purist. I often listen to full-length albums, even more than I do listen to playlists, honestly, a lot of times. And I never would use Crossfade in an album situation because it changes the way that the artist intended for you to hear it from one song to the next. Sometimes there's added length of silence, or sometimes there's, an intentional direct link from one song to the next. And if you turn on Crossfade, it screws all that stuff up. But when you're playing a playlist in the background and you want music to kind of just continue and never end without those gaps between the songs, you can finally turn on Crossfade, but you can't do it within the app. You have to go to the Settings app and then find Music and then toggle Crossfade. I don't know why Apple doesn't put settings in the actual native app. I still don't understand why they do that. Like every app does that except for Apple apps. You have to go into settings and do that. That's strange to me, but whatever. Love you, Apple. Put settings inside your apps, please. And the last one is super cool. Now, I go on road trips all the time with my family, and we have Apple CarPlay in our car, and now you can finally turn on SharePlay. Now, when this feature was first activated, I actually did an 8-hour road trip with my family. I have slightly different musical tastes than my daughters. I actually did not enable SharePlay, but I can imagine in the future, once they're all aware of this feature, we're gonna be doing that all the time. But if you have friends in the car and y'all are going somewhere and you wanna share Apple CarPlay and contribute songs and request songs and all that, you can do that through a QR code built into CarPlay now. You can request, you can change the order, all that stuff. Maybe I'll make a video just about Apple CarPlay, SharePlay. If you're interested in that, let me know in the comments and I can dive deep into that. If you enjoyed this video, why don't you subscribe to the channel? We talk about this kind of stuff all the time. And we're also gonna be talking about albums that come out that are awesome. We're also gonna be talking about music gear that overlays with tech and other tech gadgets that overlay with music. So with all the new Apple releases in the fall, I'm gonna be talking about all that stuff. Comment on the video, what is your new favorite feature in Apple Music iOS 17? Or what's a feature that's missing that you thought would be in there for sure and isn't, and they need to add it? Let me know, and we'll just keep chatting. All right, take it easy. See you next time.